In my last video, I showed you how to write a UCCX script where a customer could call in, leave their callback number, hang up, and then get a call when an agent became available. In this one, I'm going to show you how to implement some code that I created that will bring up this nice looking dashboard where you'll be able to see the calls come in, see them get fulfilled, and then even get some historical reporting. So to show you that, I'm just going to do a quick demo. I have an agent logged in and not ready, so I'm going to call in from my quote-unquote external number and request a callback. Thank you for calling customer service. If you would like the number we have to call you back on is 6. Thank you. You will receive a callback as soon as an agent is ready. Goodbye. So I just left my number and was disconnected. And let's look over here. You can see that it just showed up. This is a bogus number, of course, but you can see 4:17 p.m. they requested a callback, and you can see that this is ticking up. So let's have the agent go ready now. Call. Press 1 and pound now to be sent on an outbound call. Okay, so that should now be marked as fulfilled, and there you go. You can see that it is actually fulfilled. And now we're getting some progress bars, we're getting some average callback wait statistics, and then these will actually update every second to reflect what's going on. And then there's also a reporting tab where you can go ahead and look back at previous data. And I modified this data so that it shows bogus information, but you can either get all the data, or if you wanted to, you could filter it down to a phone number. That won't work right now because I put all bogus numbers in there. So the real number is actually being masked by this number. So yeah, if learning how to implement this sounds useful to you, or you just like to play around with it, I have actually made all the code and put it on GitHub, so you can download that. And throughout the rest of this video, I'm going to go through and show you how to set that up on Windows server or workstation. So go ahead and watch the rest of that if it sounds interesting or useful to you. So before we start scripting in UCCX, we need to get our database set up and our API set up. So that's where we will start. So think about where you want to host this application. You'll use the IP address of this device or the host name if you're using DNS to access this dashboard. So maybe just think a little bit first where you want to put this if you want this to be a permanent solution. So to get started, I'm going to actually just go right to Node.js and download that. And I will put the link to all of this in the video description. So I'm just going to do the Windows installer. And I'll just next this. And Node.js is finished. Next thing I want is the MongoDB community server. I'm just going to use version 6.0 on Windows using the MSI. And I'm just going to choose complete, leave everything default. And after just about a minute, that is done. I'm also going to want to download Mongo Compass. This is a handy little tool. It's a GUI for the databases for MongoDB, so that will be helpful as we troubleshoot any issues and get started. Next, we are going to want to download Visual Studio Code and just next it through this installation. And at this point, we have all the setup done and we are ready to download the code and fire up our API. So just follow the link I leave in the description. It'll take you to my GitHub page. And let's just download the code. So click code, download zip. So that downloaded. I'm going to create a folder on my C drive, and I'm going to call it courtesy callback API, and then I'm going to move that zip over to that folder, and I'm going to extract right here. I'm going to delete that original folder. Okay, so that is in there. I'm going to now copy this path right here and open Visual Studio Code. Now if I press Control-Shift backtick, that is going to open a terminal. Alternatively, to open the terminal, you can go to View, Terminal. And then it will show you the hotkey combination too. Okay, so I am in C users Jim Harbaugh. So I want to change directory, so I'm going to type cd, and I'm going to paste in that file path. And it didn't like that, so maybe I'll do this manually. I'm going to go to File, Open Folder, and let's browse to where I put that folder. Oops. Courtesy callback. Okay. So it looks like we want to be this deep right here. Courtesy callback API, courtesy callback API main. I'm going to say select folder. Yes, I trust the authors. And there, this is what it should look like. So it looks like I need to open a terminal again. So now I got my terminal open, my file is all lined up. I'm going to type npm install, which will install all the dependencies. Okay, so first time I tried to do npm install, I got this error. Let's see. The term npm is not recognized. All I did was restart my computer, and then it worked again. Then I also want to run the command npm install nodemon. And what that's going to do is it's just going to restart the application whenever we make any changes to the code and save it. So next I want to actually start the API by typing nodemon app.js. Oh, and we can fix that later. For now, we'll just run node app.js. And we are going to allow access. So because nodemon threw that error, we'll have to just start and restart manually whenever we make changes to the code, but it's okay for now. So with that, we are ready to start writing our UCCX script. So we're just going to modify the script we made in the last video. If you haven't seen that video, you can actually just go back and download all of the scripts and follow along right from where we are now. But where we are starting is actually right here, where the script 1 places a call to script 2. And we're going to make a small change. We're actually going to have the script 1 use a send digit string step to send the callback number to the second script. And the reason we're going to do that is because as soon as that is sent to script 2, we're going to make script 2 make an API call to our API, which will then write the time and the callback number to a database and the current status as pending. And then script 2 is going to go through its normal logic, wait until an agent is ready. Once that agent is ready and has pressed 1 to be sent out on a callback, it is going to then make another API call, and it's going to fulfill that call in the database, and it's going to write down the time that the call was fulfilled and the agent. So I will include this diagram in here as well, and we'll reference this as we go through the video. So we are going to be starting in script 1, and it should be quick. We just need to do one thing. We need to send the callback number to script 2, and we're going to do that with the send digit step. So I already have that open. So So here's my CCX editor, and we're on that step right now, right here. This is where I am in the script. So here is the one that we're going to work on, and over here is the one that is completed and that I already demoed to you. So we're just going to copy that. So they've confirmed their number, and a call has been successfully placed to the second script. So here's where we want to put a send digit string step. So I'm just going to drag that over here, and what we are sending is the callback number so that the script over here can make an API call with that callback number so that it can be added to the database. So I'm going to go into properties, and we want to change the contact to ghost caller and the output digits to calling number, and then apply and OK. So we can just save that and upload that. So I will just click File, Save, open UCCX. So I have the customer service application with its own folder. So I'm going to upload that script that I just made. So here it is, customer service API. Copy, and that's the one, yep, 7 a.m. And click open and upload. Then I'm going to go to that application, customer service, and then I'm going to change this to the copy just to prove that what we're doing actually works. Make sure I don't mislead you. So that is it for script 1. So now I'm going to open up script 2. So I have that open, and the same thing. I have the one we're working on where I removed everything, and then I have the one that I demoed in the beginning of the video. So we will go ahead and start right at the beginning of the script. So let's look at our flowchart. So we are right up here at the flowchart, and you can see right after we accept it, we want to receive that callback number. So for this end, for the second script, we want to use the get digit string. And that way we can receive what the other script sent us. And we need to create a string variable to save that as. So a string, and I will save it as callback number. Okay, so we want to say get digit string. Let's go into properties. And we want the result digit string to be callback number, and apply. Just make sure that I'm doing it right. We also have to put in a string here. Okay. So next thing we want to do is actually make our API call. So down here into the document folder, there's make REST call step. So I'm going to drag that right above callback number here, and then I'm going to go into properties. And we can see there's a couple of variables we're going to have to create. To make things easier, I'm just going to look at what already works. I'm going to make a snip out of that. So I'm going to right click this one and just look at that as I make all of my different variables. It's actually in the next screen, but you can just follow along with what I'm doing, and that should work just fine for you. Okay, so back in the script we're working on, I'm going to start creating these variables, and I'm going to start down here in the API body. So these are all going to be strings, name, API underscore body, and another string, API underscore response, and 2 more to go. String, okay, yep, string, API underscore status underscore code, okay, and another string, and it's going to be API underscore status underscore detail, and OK. So now we can go into this right here, and we are going to put in the endpoint of the API. And I'll include this endpoint, but it's going to want to be in quotation marks. And then, very important step, you're going to want to make sure that this is the IP address that you installed all those API files and did all the preparation on. So for me, that's 10.0.0.91, but obviously that's going to be different for you. And then the user ID, it makes you put this in there, so I just put in user. You can't just leave it blank, so just user and password. That does literally nothing, so don't worry about it. And then the contact type, let's just look at what I had, because this can actually trip it up if it's not right. So application / text. And then we are going to send some parameters. We're going to send a callback number, and we're going to use a token. The token is important. I set the API up so it's not going to accept it unless this token is here and it's this long string right here. So first we will add one called callback number. And then we're going to change the value to callback number. Oops. You need to have quotations around callback number. Okay, so next we are going to add the token, and I will include this token in here as well as the description of the video. So I did the token in, I didn't save that as a variable, I put that in here as a string. So let me just look at it again. So I just did quotation marks, and then I pasted in what I will put in the description. So okay, and then here is where we are going to add those variables that we created just a couple minutes ago. So the body, API body, and we don't really care about most of these, but the response is what we do care about, because that is going to send back a unique ID for what was written into the database, and that's what we're going to use later to fulfill the call. So we're going to save that as API response, API status code, and status detail, and apply. Okay, so that should be it. So looking back at our flowchart, our script is going to receive the callback number, it's going to make a GET request to the IP address on port 3000, and it's going to provide a token and a callback number as parameters. So next we are going to want to go down for where this call is fulfilled. So after the successful part of send agent outbound. So let's go to that part. So right after the connect step and before it goes to end, this is where we're going to want to make another REST API call. And the API is going to expect the parameters of the token again, same token, and then it also is going to want an agent name and an ID. And quick note, the agent name is received in these steps right here. So we created the agent in the last video. It was just a null contact, and then we saved it to that user, or actually I'm sorry, it's getting the information right here, and then it's actually saving the agent name in a string variable. And you can see that variable right here, agent name. So we are going to send that string to the API so that the agent name can be displayed on the dashboard. So let's open up this again. And I will provide this endpoint as well. in the description of the video. So once again, double quotes, and then change this to the IP address that you installed everything on at the start of this video. Time out everything. So once again, we can just say user, password, content type. I believe that was application text. And then we will add our parameters. And we want one to be token. Again, let's copy and paste that token. Okay. And then we're going to want one named agent. And the value to be agent name. And then another one, ID. And here's where we are going to use the response from our previous get. So that is going to be the API response. Okay. And then the body, we can use the same variables we did last time. And apply. And so I'm going to save this, and this should be good to go. But before I upload and test it, I'm going to want to just make sure that the firewall is going to accept API calls on that port. So this is port 3000. So let me go back to the server where I built this. So I'm going to start typing firewall, Windows Defender firewall. There's an error opening firewall. And I just had to run it as administrator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to inbound rules, new rule, and then I'm going to select port, next, 3000. Next, and I'll call this Node.js API. And finish. So now it should allow inbound connections over port 3000. So I'm just going to save this. So this is courtesy callback API copy. I'm going to go back to UCCX script management. This is the courtesy callback folder. I'm going to upload the script. Upload. Then I'm going to go to that application, change it to courtesy callback API, copy, and update. Now we should be able to give this a test. And I'm going to actually do an active debug on this. So, well, one thing I should have done before anything is validate it. If it does not validate, it's not going to run. So I'm going to do a reactive script on this. And we can just watch everything happen and troubleshoot if I forgot any steps. So I'm going to look at the courtesy callback. Let's see if I can find it. It's really annoying how you can't see the full file name. Okay, I paused it and found it. So I'm going to say 300. So let's just now give this a call. So this debug is actually going to be triggered by, it's going to be the second script. So hopefully this works. 6,000.
Your call cannot.
6,000, not 600.
Thank you for calling customer service. If you would like to skip the wait and receive a callback, press 1.
Okay.
The number we have to call you back on is, thank you. You will receive a callback as soon as an agent is ready. Goodbye.
Okay, so now that script is activated and we should see that number. It should, okay, and did you see that? It made it through the callback number. and we can see it right here. Here's the number I called on. So now the next step is it's going to try to make that REST API call. So let's see if that works. And it seems like it worked, because we got an API status code of 200 and it returned a response status of OK. So now I'm just going to step over that, and no agents are logged in. But let's just go see if we can see that entry in the database now. So let's go back to where we installed everything, and I'm going to type in MongoDB Compass, and this is the GUI I was referencing earlier. Let's open that up and connect to our little local database. And let's see, you got databases, and here is courtesy callback. So that is good, and you can see we have today's date. Starts a new collection every day, and there it is. So we have the calling number, the date, pending, and unselected. So that's a good sign. I'm going to log into UCCX and go into Ready and see if it fulfills successfully as well. Okay, so I have Jim Harbaugh. I'm going to make him go Ready. And you can see he goes reserve right away. So let's just go. So now it's going to select the user, and it's going to connect. So I'm going to accept. On call. Press 1 and pound now to be sent on. Okay, so I'm connected, so it should now go fulfill that. So let's see what happens. So it made the REST call. Let's see what we got. Returned a response status of 204, no contact, which means updated. So things are looking good. So let's just finish this, go to end, and our debug is done. Let's go back to our database and see what we got. And this call, and go back into here, and let's refresh. So right here it's status pending, unselected, and I'm going to refresh, and look, now we got to fulfill that property, and we also got the status is now fulfilled in the agent J Harbaugh. So there we have it. We have our script working, and our database is working, our API is working. Next thing we need to do is get the front end working, which is built on React, and I will now show you how to download that code and get that running on the same server so that you can get a nice dashboard like I showed you at the beginning of the video. So I am going to actually run this in a Node command line instead of VS Code. So I'm just going to I'll stop this, just press Control C, and now the API has stopped, and I'm going to start typing Node, and you'll see Node.js command prompt. So this is what we want right here. Node.js command prompt, and so this is the folder we are in. So let me see if I can copy this path. Oops. So we're going to do CD, and then we can do the same command we did to start it. Node app.js. And so now it's just going to start running that command prompt instead of VS Code. So now we want to download the React code for our front end and open up that folder. So here is the GitHub link for that, which I will provide in the description. So once again, let's go to code and download zip. So that has downloaded, and I'm going to put that in the same parent folder as the API code, and I'm going to extract it here. And get rid of the zip file. And so this is the folder we are going to want to go in. We are going to want to open in Visual Code. So let's open Visual Code, and I'm going to open folder. And courtesy callback, React front end main. And so we want to go up one level. So courtesy callback front end. And I'm going to select that folder. And we're going to have to open a terminal again. View terminal. And once again, npm install. This might take a little bit. That will set up all of our dependencies. Okay, and then before we start it, let's go ahead and under the source folder, there's components, and we are going to want to go down to livedata.js. So I have that open right here, and then if you just find this part here, this fetch. So this is the API call to the Node.js application we built already. And I just want to change this from localhost to the actual IP. So 10.0.0.91. And I'm going to save that. And then I think we want to go to search bar and do the same thing. So under the fetch right here, let's just change that to 10.0.0.91 and save. Okay, and so I think we are ready to start this. So we can just type npm start. And it wants to run on 3000, and our APIs, or the Node API is already running on that, so it is going to start on 3001 instead. And there we have it. This just opened up, and we can see the information for the courtesy callback we did. There's a number, agent, and there are no current waiting calls, and we can just test that to see if this is working. So I'm going to make a test call again.
If you would like to skip, the number we have to call you back on is
X1.
Thank you. You will receive a call back as soon as an agent is ready. Goodbye.
So now if it works, that unfulfilled call should, oh, and there it is. Okay. So you can see the time is ticking up. So now I'm going to go ready and actually handle that call. Press 1 and pound now to be. And you can see that it moved from unfulfilled over to fulfilled. So now we can open this up from another computer, and we can see that it works from the other computer as well. So that's http:// the IP address of the server, and then 3001. So there you have it. That is how you can use UCCX REST API call step to get creative and come up with solutions that people might need. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you need help setting this up, if you think that this could be useful for your organization, just reach out to me. We could work something out, and we could get it working for you, and even customize and set up according to your needs if needed. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if this has been helpful, if you found this to be useful information, please like and please subscribe. Thank you, and have a great day.